So a few years back, I made a video called The Pros and Cons of Living in Orillia. And in today's video, I want to do an update 2026 version of that video. This time, I want to go deeper and I want to get more than just my opinion in the video. So I have scoured through Reddit threads, public forums, and other discussions, as well as comments, to really understand what the public and people who actually live here think about living in Orillia. So welcome back, and if you're new here, my name is Ryan Mixon. I'm a local real estate agent. I live and work here in Orillia. I have done for the last 5 years. If you get value from my videos, I would really encourage you to hit that subscribe button. As well, you can go and follow me on Instagram at Ryan_Mixon. If living here is on your radar, please feel free to reach out. I can help you with your real estate needs. Or if you're a current resident of Orillia, I'd love to have a conversation with you about selling if that's something that's on your horizon. So now let's get into our pros and cons. For this video, I've narrowed it down to the top 6 pros and the top 6 cons that have come out of anything online to do with Orillia, Reddit, Facebook groups, forums, etc. So first up for pros, we have waterfront and nature access. So the number one pro without question is access to water and nature. Residents constantly mention the lakes, waterfront trails, parks, and how easy it is to be outside here. A very common theme is convenience. People love that they don't need to plan a weekend getaway just to feel like they're away. You'll see comments like, "I can walk to the waterfront after work," or "being near the lake never gets old." Even people who are critical of other aspects of Orillia almost always say the natural setting is what keeps them living here. Another big one is how easy daily life feels. Residents frequently mention short drive times, easy parking, and not needing to build their day around traffic. People coming from larger cities often say they didn't realize how draining the congestion was until they got out. That simplicity, errands, school runs, appointments comes up again and again. Pro number 3 is practical, livable amenities. Orillia isn't described as flashy, it's described as livable. Residents regularly say the city has exactly what they need for everyday life: grocery options, recreational facilities, libraries, healthcare services, and basic shopping. Costco gets mentioned a lot, but it's really about not needing to leave town constantly. The phrase, "I don't have everything, but I have enough," is what often shows up. Pro number 4, community feel and friendliness. A surprising number of residents talk about the social side of Orillia. People say it's easier to meet neighbors, build routines, and feel like part of the community, especially compared to bigger cities. You'll see comments like, "People actually say hi to you here," or "It feels more human." Pro number 5 is that there are 4 real seasons. Residents who enjoy winter sports, trail walks, or just seasonal changes often say Orillia feels like a real 4-season town. Winter definitely requires preparation, but people who embrace it say it adds rhythm and variety to life. And finally, we have pro number 6, the lifestyle value for remote or flexible workers. One of the strongest underlying themes is this: Orillia works incredibly well if your income isn't tied to a daily commute or limited local wages. Remote workers, retirees, and self-employed residents often say the lifestyle to cost ratio feels very favorable. This is where Orillia really shines for the right people. So now we've gone through the 6 pros, let's take a look at the 6 cons that everybody talks about with living here. Con number 1 is healthcare access takes planning. The most commonly mentioned challenge is access to healthcare, particularly finding a family doctor. Residents talk about wait times and needing to be proactive or flexible. It is important to say this isn't unique to Orillia, it's a broader provincial issue, but people feel it locally. Most residents frame it as something to plan for, rather than a reason to avoid the city altogether. Con number 2, downtown challenges and visible social issues. Another frequent topic is visible homelessness and how it has changed parts of downtown over the last few years. Residents express concern, empathy, and frustration often all at once. Many comments emphasize that it's area and time dependent and that the city is actively working on solutions. It's something to be aware of, not something that necessarily defines the entire city. Con number 3, local job market can feel limited. Residents often say that good jobs do exist, but are not always in abundance. For certain industries or career paths, options can feel narrow and wages don't always feel like they keep up with housing costs. This is why Orillia tends to work best for flexible income sources or remote jobs. Con number 4, housing affordability relative to the city's size. A very common sentiment is, I love Orillia, but housing has gotten really expensive for how big it is. Even homeowners say that they'd struggle to buy again in today's market. This isn't framed as regret, more as realism, and it's an important expectation to set for newcomers. Con number 5. Winter requires preparation. Winter isn't a deal breaker for most people, but it does require planning. Snow removal, winter tires, adjusting routines is part of life here. Residents often say, once you're prepared, it becomes manageable, and even enjoyable for some. Finally, we come to con number 6. Entertainment and variety have a ceiling. Finally, residents are honest about the fact that Orillia has limits. If you're looking for endless nightlife, constantly new restaurants, big city energy, you'll notice the difference. Most people frame this not as a flaw, but as a trade-off for space, nature, and slower pace. So in conclusion, we can say Orillia, like most cities, have their pros and their cons, but Orillia really does have that nature, that lifestyle, that space that a lot of people are looking for, especially for those on remote work or who can supplement their income. So if your priorities are high-paying jobs, a busy nightlife, lots going on, Orillia might not be the right fit for you, and that's okay. But if you really value space, nature, a little bit of a slower pace, then Orillia could be the one for you. No place is perfect, and what really stood out to me while doing this research is the consistency in everybody's comments. The pros and cons really seem to be well understood by all residents. So that brings us to the end of the video. I would love to hear your feedback in the comments, so please leave a comment down below. If you're looking at moving to the area or you're thinking about selling in the area, I'd love to be in contact with you. You can find all my information in the description below or check out my website. So thank you very much. We'll see you in the next video.